Hi, I'm Kat, and this is today's tarot. We have a full moon today, so the sun and the moon are in direct opposition of each other, means that they are 180 degrees apart from one another out in the sky. So we have the sun, which is in Leo, and the moon, which is in Aquarius. It's actually the second full moon in a row that we have had in Aquarius, so in some ways we are revisiting what we had last full moon that we didn't necessarily see with the clearest sight. Now, the first card that we have for today's reading is the Charioteer, and this card is governed by Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So it doesn't surprise me that this card came in as our opening card for today. It's showing me that there is some things that are going to be revealed to us today that are going to give us a sense of greater knowing and greater perception in our life situation and where we are moving forward, quite literally. When you look at this card, you can see that we have a figure that is in a chariot. It's in a vehicle that's being led by these two Sphinx types creatures. One is black and one is white, and they depict our senses and how we are basically led by our senses and led by our nature. This is a question of how we actually want to let ourselves go out into the world and what's guiding us out in the world. Where are we coming from? Quite literally, emotionally, where are we coming from? What is the terrain that we are going out into the world in? Now, during times of the full moon, we see what's underneath the surface. We may see things being revealed in other people, and we get a sense of knowing and understanding through this experience. So that is some pretty powerful energy that we are working with today. The challenge that we have for today is this Seven of Swords energy. So there may be something revealed today that is a challenge that is in regard to the people that we surround ourselves with or the people that we engage with. Now, the Seven of Swords is all about actually like that sense of understanding and that we gather through experiences and through conversations and through engaging with people. And you can see when you look at this card that this person has gathered up 5 of those swords and is walking away from this tent city as if they're going out on their own based on what they've witnessed or experienced with other people. So this brings up an idea that there are some people who we may be engaging with that don't have the best ethics, or maybe they are working an angle that isn't necessarily in alignment with what we need and want, and so they're questionable characters. They could be speaking badly about us. They could be trying to manipulate something out of us. The idea is that there are some characters in our lives that are bringing up challenges because we get this sense that they don't have an honorable way about them. And so this full moon is allowing us to see these people for who they are. And in a lot of ways, it's encouraging us to just kind of go out on our own and separate from these individuals because it doesn't feel good. Like the exchange isn't good. The person is just trying to get something from us, and it's not a mutual exchange. Now, the way that we're going to get through the challenge today, we have actually the 9 of Cups. So this is a sense of understanding that we gather through some experience that we've gone through. It's kind of like when you see how people show up, if they show up, or if they show up in a negative way. This is giving us a sense of knowing and satisfaction with how we actually come to understand people. It's like, okay, now I know who you are. Great. Noted. And I'm going to just kind of put that over here and acknowledge that and not let it actually govern me. I'm just going to understand that that's who you are. And I'm thankful that I at least understand who you are now, so I don't give you any more of my time or energy or effort or, that kind of thing. It also is revealing that there are some people that will show up as honorable characters. And so this is in some ways like we're kind of sitting back and just observing how people show up and gathering information from that we can sit with and kind of keep in our pocket as a way of understanding who people are. The overall outcome that we have for today is the Queen of Pentacles. So if you look at this card, we see a woman who's sitting on a throne that's kind of built into a tree, and she's holding on to a pentacle that's sitting on her lap. This card is associated with Capricorn, and so it brings up our life path, our goal, our career, and where we are going in life. And we have to consider, you know, when we're working with people, that we still have our own path underneath our feet. And when people show up as maybe having, you know, some questionable behaviors or motivations in their interactions with us, we can't necessarily let ourselves be beat up for it. It's not, for instance, a reflection on ourselves, how other people show up. It's more important for us to focus on our own path and our own goals as far as what's important to us practically, because people can steal your energy and steal your attention and trigger you in such a way that it really kind of can rob you from your own resources, which is time, right? Like, I will often remind my friends and my clients when they are speaking about something that's really triggering and that's really identifying on them, that the person who's triggering them doesn't deserve their energy. And what I mean by that is, you know, we have this center in our being that has all of our energy and all of our resources, and we have 24 hours a day, and maybe we sleep 8 hours of those 24 hours. But that day is your resource. It is for you to make whatever it is that you need to make out of it. And perhaps you're using 8 of those hours to make income, or perhaps you're, you know, using 2 of those hours to share with friends. Where is your value in your own resource? If you get identified by some, you know, questionable character and it ends up eating your whole freaking day, well then they won, right? They won your resource. They basically, you know, took your energy and your time and your effort and anything that you could have productively done with your day, and they took it from you because you allowed your attention to fall into it. So this is reminding us to put our energy on where we feel we need to go and where it's actually practical for us to go. And consider that, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is associated with Capricorn, as I said, and we have Pluto right now in Capricorn. So we are having a lot of transformation happen in this area of our lives that Capricorn is sitting in our own natal chart. So if you have, you know, this energy sitting in your second house, then you are getting a lot of transformation around your finances and the money that you have on hand. If you have Capricorn sitting in your 5th house, it's likely affecting your creativity and your engagement with things and matters of the heart. So we're seeing this transformation happening wherever Capricorn is sitting in our chart, and it's making us reestablish our efforts in life so that we can actually be practical and use our time, you know, share our time rather than spend our time more wisely. So we have a lot of realizations that are coming through with this full moon. Remember that the full moon is in Aquarius, so it brings up this bigger perspective and this wide horizon as far as, you know, where do we want to go? What are our goals? And what do we need to actually sacrifice and let go of to get there? I would argue and suggest as well that the thing that we need to sacrifice is our identification with how other people show up. Because ultimately what matters most is how we show up and what drives us to move through the world. I send you guys so much love today and a great big hug and a good wish as we get through this full moon. if you can just remember that if people trigger you and make you identified, that, you know, they don't deserve your precious time and energy. You do. You deserve it. It's your time. It's your energy to do with what you feel called to do it with. So if you want to go water a plant, if you want to listen to some music, if you want to go on a hike, if you want to put your energy and effort towards your goals and your dreams and where you ultimately are seeing yourself going in life, you have to drop the dead weight. And the dead weight is often our identification with who other people are and how they show up. I send you a good wish and so much love, and I hope you have a blessed full moon and that you see what you need to see with clarity, light, love, and compassion. I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.